In this video of the Mazdaspeed3 series, we've got 3 things we're going to add to the car to keep it from blowing up so that when we start tuning it and adding horsepower, we keep it safe, keep it reliable, and we do things the proper way. Let's dive into it. Stick around for the whole process. We got 3 things we got to do and you're not going to want to miss what these are. The first thing we're installing, Randall's already got started on, is the Autotech high pressure fuel pump internals kit. This increases flow by 50% so that we do not run lean when we start adding horsepower. This is just a little itty bitty piece. Got these. It looks so big in photos, but it's so small in person. And this is it. We'll try and get a comparison when we get the stock internals out. Autotech tells us what we need to get the job done, all the instructions. Really nice to have this, and it shows kind of how this is assembled and broken up. It's been quite a few years since I've done this install of the high pressure fuel pump internals, but I do remember this was one of the first major modifications I ever did in anything I ever did with cars, and it wasn't too bad. Randall's going to take over this time, and we're going to go ahead and remove the intake and get the battery out of the way and make some space, and we'll pick up for the more detailed parts.
So once you remove your battery box, your intake, we still have factory intake components, so I didn't remove it all the way. There is a line that's connected down under there, you can't really see it, so I just kind of have this pulled to the side for now. But once you get all that pulled away, you will be able to access the high pressure fuel line right here, the hard line. Essentially, once it's loose, this will be able to slide up and down on this line, so I put a zip tie here to allow it to keep it from falling down into an area where I won't be able to pull it back up. So before you start disassembling everything, what you want to do is pull your fuel pump relay or fuse and essentially just start cranking it to relieve. The motor will start and run for like a couple seconds, and that'll get rid of all the fuel out of your fuel system.
Did you already do that?
I didn't do that on this one, but that's the proper way to do it, just so you don't get fuel everywhere. It's not really, if you don't do it, you will get some fuel that'll come out, but it's not like aggressive or anything, but just to keep that in mind. So whenever I go ahead and crack this, get a light little mist. Just like so. So now that you have that line removed, go ahead and remove these lines right here. Figure out how these clips work. I think this is just a sleeve.
Get hyped. Today's video is sponsored to support our car addiction and pay for expensive car parts. Fantic X8 tire inflator. I don't do deals very often on this channel. I made sure I love this. I had to check it out for myself. Apple-like packaging, can charge your phone, fit in the cubby hole of my truck, which I'm going to leave it in there and use it in case I ever get a flat tire. Comes with things to inflate like a basketball or something. Really rad setup, nice uniform bag to put it and keep it organized in any vehicle. Can inflate up to 6 tires on a full charge right out of the box. It inflated this completely cracked sidewall 240SX tire. Don't take a chance getting stuck on the side of the road. Check out this tire inflator with the link in the description. Really nice piece.
So once you remove this little clip, this is essentially just a cover that goes around this to protect this clip from being pushed in. Once you have that removed, this white clip right here, you'll push that in, and then you'll want to push down, push that in, and then you can pull this up. Let's get that out of the way for now. I'm gonna get this other one right here. Looks like this right here will pop backwards. These clips do break sometimes. Don't be too hard on yourself if you do break them. These things are replaceable. You can buy new ones at most of your local parts stores. Sometimes there's a few odd clips that aren't sold that you have to order, but either way, they are replaceable. So that one, you just get in behind here and then just pry this backwards, and then this will just pull right up and remove up out of the way. Now what we got is, it's a, I guess, internal or external Torx bit. I think that's a E8. So we'll go ahead and see if that is what fits. So E8, that's what the external Torx bit looks like.
If you've never done this before, you're gonna need some tools. If you already have some tools you want to add to it, find something awesome for your garage. Down in the description, we're always adding to our Amazon list. It's garage tools and necessities list on Amazon. Go check it out. That also supports the channel. They're affiliate links. We appreciate you. Let's get back in the install.
So Right now I'm pulling the hard line kind of up out of the way so I can start to pull this off. There we go. She's still stopped.
You will need a vise for this install. It would definitely make things a whole lot smoother. So if you don't have one, you can prepare ahead of time. Bought this one, I think, from Home Depot. You can get them at Harbor Freight. Mount them to your bench. We also have one down in our Amazon list as well.
We got an 18mm deep socket here. So it's gonna fit on there. See if this has enough force to break it free. Now that that's out, got some fuel up in here. Go ahead and dump that.
The next step, you just grab onto it and you pull it out.
Right.
It's that easy.
The piston piece right here itself, which I believe was the bigger one in there.
There's our...
This is the factory one.
This is the process of kind of cleaning out your parts. Little brake cleaner. Take a look.
Got a little bit of stuff in there, but I'll wipe that out with a rag.
This is the OEM piston on the right. This is the Autotech one on the left. You can see how much bigger the one on the left is. That's going to allow more fuel so we won't run lean. And that is why we are installing this.
So you have two sides to this. You want to put the bigger side inside of this little collar here. So this goes in like so. Might want to put some oil, or I'm putting a little assembly lube on this. Spring in. It's the same on both sides.
Just snap into place?
Yeah.
What are these?
Those are the valve keepers of the ring, the retainer clips. Once you have your spring on, you'll take your retainer, slide it down, and the keepers will fall right into place once you have the spring compressed right here on top. And once everything's installed, it'll look just like that. I'll go ahead and put a little oil or assembly lube on this O-ring right here. And we'll go ahead and get this back in.
If you guys are ever wondering, why does Randall have a computer? Well, Randall's a legit mechanic, and he has this ProDemand software that tells him things like basically everything you need to know as far as details, including torque specs. So we're checking on those for you. He's making a list. For this install, you're going to need a torque wrench. Randall's got a fancy snap-on one. I have a Amazon one that's a little bit more budget friendly, so make sure you check out that link in the description. But of course, we're going to use Randall's fancy snap-on when we can.
40. So we do have a couple dowel pins that have to line up. So before you get this pump all the way in and secured, you want to make sure to connect your hard line first. Because once this is in, you're gonna have a really hard time getting that in there properly. These 3 E8 Torx head bolts, the torque spec on these are 16 foot-pounds. So the high pressure fuel line down here has a torque spec of 26 foot-pounds. So the way I'm doing that is with a crow's foot 19mm wrench.
We're at the point where normally we'd put everything back, but that's not going to happen in this video. We're going to jump to the next step, but we're going to explain why really quick. Randall, what's going on here?
So in our factory intake piece here, there's a little nipple that comes off that connects to a hose down there, and this has broken off, so we will not be reusing this piece.
We're going to jump straight into installing our new NGK spark plugs. Here is the part number if you want to install the right spark plugs, so you can prep to get tuned by Alan at Edge Autosport, which we're gonna do in the near future. Sorry, I had to do something. What's size you got there?
8mm.
Yes, this is one of the easier cars to change the spark plugs on, thankfully.
Any 4-cylinder is usually easy unless it's a boxer. We won't talk about this.
What size
So
you
you got a spark plug socket. It's a 5/8. This one has a little rubber deal in here. So some of them have magnets. So this one right here, I'll just go down, press it in.
And notice how Randall's not using a power tool for spark plugs.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that. NGK Iridium spark plugs are claimed to be pre-gapped. We did double check. They're around a 0.028, which is ideal. This is a 5/8 socket, but the magnetic kind. Randall's gonna use this for the install. Why did you want to switch?
Because the other one has it's not magnetic, it's basically just a rubber piece.
It's like a rubber gasket.
It's like a rubber grommet type deal. So when you try to pull it out, it just comes off the extension.
Gets stuck in the head.
Yeah, it's not an ideal design. Oh, brother, what was that?
Bro, that is foul.
I literally thought that was gonna be quiet. Oh.
Some brake cleaner, air freshener. Oh gosh, I'm crying. That's just wrong. All right, what's the torque spec on this one?
We'll look it up. I'm gonna snug them down. I do the old hand over the head of the ratchet method to call that snug. If you have it over here, obviously you got all the leverage in the world. So I'm gonna go look up the spec on that.
10 foot-pounds for the spark plugs. Not much at all.
Feels very light. It should be more.
Are you double checking or are you good?
Double checking. It says 10.
Next up, we've got our Cobb Accessport. Picked this up from Panda Motorworks. I got links in the description. Cobb sent a little mini jet tag. Here's our OBD2 cable. It's got a little 90 off of it. Little plug protector of our connection. And then for the nice part, I have the actual Accessport. Brand new maps are preloaded for this car. That's great. I am a fan of the black faceplate, always have been, over the gray. So we're gonna swap that out. We'll put that on real quick. And we have a little mount, some magnet. And then it comes with an adhesive, but we're gonna get a different mount. This might have been in the box for a long time. We can't update the firmware. I do have this software on my computer, so I might go plug this in and make sure we're up to date. So these faceplates have a little part right here. You can stick a flathead screwdriver. This will pry off. It sounds like it's gonna break, but while I have the chance, I wanna go ahead and peel off protector for the screen. Put my fresh faceplate on, click it on. Much better. Just got confirmation that the stock map saved. Now it's loading the stage 1 plus the intake. Stage 1 map should be installed. The Accessport is an awesome tool to monitor diagnostics in your car, levels of stuff, read check engine lights, upload tunes to your car. It's just kind of a way to get into the brain of your car and know what's going on. So it's definitely a necessity, especially when you get to start tuning them. If you guys want to grab one of these, you head over to Panda Motorworks with a link in the description. If you guys don't have a Mazdaspeed, they have a huge selection of sport compact vehicles is what they're known for, and all the parts. They're awesome guys. I've met them in person. I appreciate them for the support on this series so that we have an awesome car to give away to one of you guys with proper parts on it. High pressure fuel pump internals, step holder spark plugs, and an Accessport are the 3 things you need to prepare to make more power on this platform. This is all you needed to know to make sure you stay safe and reliable with your Mazdaspeed3 so you don't blow it up or do anything that would really put you in a bad mood and not like cars. We did add some modifications that required custom tuning, so we reached out to Alan over at Edge Autosport. He sent us a base map, so we have this car running right now, and we're getting ready to make some more power. But before we dial that tune in, we're going to be adding even more bolt-on modifications. Make sure you subscribe, follow along with the build, get entered to win this car. We really appreciate you being here, and and we'll see you over on Mazdaspeed3.com. If you guys want to see a video of us installing an ACT clutch on this car that makes it much more fun to drive, got rid of a lot of gross noises, and you want to make this thing drive like it's new, a clutch is a big part of that. So go over, check this video out where we install a ACT clutch and make this thing really smooth to drive.